and they wanted to see something about how come certain people are successful and certain people aren't successful. And this is what they came up with. Okay, if you look at the 85%, the big red section there, those are the people that don't really do much. Okay, they don't have plans in their lives. They don't really sort themselves out on a daily or a monthly or a weekly basis in terms of where do I want to go, how do I want to do it, what am I going to do? Okay, and then the next 12%, they do plan. They have some sort of idea as to how they're going to go about life. They do have a certain amount of ideas. Okay, and this combined 12 and 85%, that's what, 97? 97% of the students that they spoke to accumulate this much wealth. Okay? Let's say I speak to you today and I ask you all a question. Do you plan? How do you plan? How many steps is your plan consisting of? Okay? It translates to this much of the wealth of the combined number of people. Okay? So 97% of the people accumulated this much wealth. And then a special percentage of the people in the whole survey, 3%, the final 3%, accumulated the majority of the wealth of the people that were asked. And why is this? Their plan consisted of 7 steps instead of 3 steps. So I'm going to ask you a question now. What do you think those 7 steps are? We're not going to put them in order, but what do you think the 7 steps of planning are? Yes?
First one, maybe brainstorming.
Brainstorming, okay, that could be a step. Do you guys plan as individuals? Do we plan?
Yeah.
What do? Maybe they're on the 7. We don't know these things.
Set goals.
We set goals, okay.
Implement.
Okay.
Research.
Fine. Yes.
Evaluate.
We evaluate, okay. What else do we do? When we're planning, what do we do, guys? Yes.
What about the vision?
Okay, vision and?
Prioritize.
And you prioritize, okay. Anyone else before we switch? Okay, so these, we heard what was said. Brainstorming, prioritize, evaluate, yes? We research. Are these on the 7? How many of you think that some of these things actually show up on the 7 steps of planning? Do you have any faith in your own planning skills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, know what you want. What do you want? Do you want a Benz at the end of the year? Do you want a job at the end of the year? Do you want to run your own business in 5 years' time? Do you want to start a 2nd degree or a 3rd degree? What do you want? You need to know what it is that you want. Okay? And then the next step is know when you want it. That's why I said, do you want a Benz this year? Do you want a degree soon? Do you want a business in 5 years? You need to know when you want these things, or else it's just going to be a pipe dream that floats around, and you still have time, but you haven't set yourself any specific goal time. Okay? So after you know when you want it, you need to list the rewards and consequences. And I feel that this sort of ties into research. You need to know what the pros and cons of going towards your goal is going to be. Okay? What are the pros and cons? What are the rewards that you can get from actually going towards a goal? What are the consequences? Okay? List these rewards and consequences. Number 4, identify potential obstacles. It's very rare that something will happen exactly as you planned it. You need to be aware that there are some times that something is going to stop you from achieving what you want to do. So if we go back to the story, this is when the person is now sidestepping the pothole because they know it's there. They know that it could be a potential obstacle. If I jump back in, I'm wasting time. Yeah? So identify potential obstacles, then move to number 5. Determine the skills and knowledge you must acquire. Is my diploma in HR sufficient? Do I need a master's in psychology to practice? Do I need to find a mentor who can give me personal skills that I don't have at this point in time? Things that that I didn't learn at school? Who do I need to speak to learn how to interact with people? What are the skills and the knowledge that you need to acquire? Number 6. List the groups, the people, and the organizations you need to associate with. Who was it that asked about the mentors and the coaches? They wanted to know who exactly these people were. Who was that asked that question? It was Rodney. It's important to know who you're going to, like, what if you waste like 4 days in the next 12 months meeting and then you meet someone that you already know in your whole life? To know who has the potential to grow you or your network or the skills that you need. Okay? List the groups, maybe like Boost Fellowship and the organizations that they associate with. List the people that you need to associate with. It gives you direction in your terms of who do I want to speak to today? What am I going to do tomorrow? Yeah? Alright, number 7. Design clear step-by-step action plan. It's great to have an idea. It's great to write it down. But if it's like a brainstorming tree and that's where you end, you're going to get stuck. Because you're like, okay, now where do I go? Create the steps clearly. From here, I'm going here. From here, I'm going here. Okay, so Sarah, have you ever done the 7-step formula to planning?
Some steps.
Some step. Name one step that you've missed recently in your planning process.
Identifying the potential.
Okay, number 4. I think that's a big one as well. Okay, so Sarah, she has planned before, but sometimes she forgets to identify the potential obstacles. Alice, what is one step that you often miss or that you've missed recently in your planning?
Association. Number 6.
Associating with people, the people that you can connect with. Okay. So is there anyone here who can't say, okay, is there anyone here who does 7-step planning all the time? Every time I set out to plan, this is my week, this is my whatever, this is what I do. No? Okay, so we all have an area that we could actually apply that would make our planning process better, yes? Yeah? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so can you see the ones in red? Number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. The writing is in red. List the rewards, identify obstacles, determine skills, and list the groups of people. These are the steps commonly missed by the 97. 97, yes. Okay? These are the ones that we often skip. We know what we want, and we know by the time I'm 30, I'm going to have a big house, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. But in terms of how we're going to get there, there's a kind of a gap in reality. Yeah? There are things that we're missing, the things that we're not thinking about. So these are the 4 steps that you now need to incorporate if we want to have the massive wealth that the 3% have. If we want to achieve on the level that the 3% have, even if it's not money. If there's certain goals that you set in your life, we need to focus on all 7 steps of the plan. And we will do that with Map for Life. Okay? Failing to plan is planning to fail. I'm sure we've all heard that at least once in our lifetime. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So we emphasize the planning so much because that's where a lot of us get it wrong. After you plan, you have to take action. This is the difference even with so many things. Even with what Flintstone said. Knowing is one thing. Having an idea is one thing. But taking action to achieve whatever it is that you need to achieve is something else completely different. You need to take action. The men who lead are the ones who do the work when there is work to be done. We all complain about the state of the nation. But what are we doing? In your own personal life, we complain about situations, we complain about this or that, but what are we doing? It's very easy to sit and talk, but what are the actions that we are personally taking in our lives to achieve what we want to achieve? Okay, and then after action, you need to record. You need to have a record of what you planned. This is why I'm going to go back to brainstorming again. We can brainstorm, we can talk about it, we can have some sort of pretty picture, okay? But the minute you have something like Map for Life where you can record it, put it down, go back to this whenever you need to, it's a grounding situation. It helps you, it's like an anchor. It helps you sort of connect in whatever it is that you need to do at any given time, okay? So that is the planning part of things. From there to step number 5, that's all planning. Number 3 would be manage your time effectively. If we want to live a life of significance for ourselves or others, we need to manage our time. Some of the most successful people I know wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. And I know this, but I still sleep until 6:30. But then you need to manage your time. The more you have on your plate, the more you need to learn how to balance your life and make sure that you're not neglecting certain parts of yourself. Okay? So this is the example of someone's schedule. Let's say it's Wednesday, okay? So they start their day, 6 a.m. they have devotions, and then they travel to where they're going at 7, and then at 8 they have batch process tasks. So this is a bunch of things that they need to get done. Maybe it's phoning people, emailing, writing letters, visiting people in the office, okay? They have time set out for everything that they're doing. And please realize that this is a record of the actions that they want to take, okay? They've written it down. It's clear to them that this is what I need to do on a Wednesday, okay? And then let's say they meet someone named Haley. They know this meeting is going to take 2 hours, but they need time to rest in between. Managing your time doesn't mean working from 12 to 12, okay? You need to be able to rest at some point or else you're going to burn out. You'll take 3 days resting when you could have taken an hour or 30 minutes within your day, and then you actually save time, okay? And then in the afternoon, they have other things, and it's all written down. It's all on their plan for the day. It's all recorded. It's all stated. That's what we need to learn how to do. Put everything down. Okay, that's how you manage your time effectively. Then the final and fourth step to living a life of significance. You need to enjoy the journey. I love what I do. If I was very honest, you are the oldest people I've spoken to in the past 3-4 weeks. Not that you're very old, but you're older than the people that I speak to. We play games all the time. Like every Friday, I play games. That's what I do for a living, and it's really fun. So you need to find things that you actually enjoy doing, okay? It won't be meaningful to you if you don't enjoy it, okay? You won't gain anything from it if you're just doing it just because, yeah? You need to find things that you enjoy doing, things that take up your time, but you don't mind that they take up your time, yeah? It's very important, okay? And how do we get to this life of significance? The way forward is application, okay? We have spoken about the elements, we've done the theory, and I've tried to run through this because I want us to get into the practical for the rest of today. We're going to take our time over going through this book, but what I want you guys to know is that you need to apply, okay? It's great to have theory, it's great to write notes, it's great to have books and whatever it is, but if we're not applying what we learn, we really haven't learned it. Okay, we haven't acquired the skills, we haven't acquired the knowledge that we need to actually take action. So I would encourage you to apply everything it is that you need, or that you think you need, okay? Apply every step of practice that you think you need to achieve what it is you need. And then every Map for Life has something we call a purpose club. So after today, after you fill in the details in this book and you start taking action according to the steps in this book, what you need to do is get together in groups. And it's really great that Boost has created this platform for you, where there are people who have the same mindset now as you do to now check in and say, okay, fine. How are you doing with those top 3 goals that we talked about? How are you doing in terms of setting up your business or, you know, going into your second degree or whatever it is? You need to find opportunities to sit down with like-minded people. Remember we talked about association? You need to find time to associate and discuss and interact with people who have the same ideas, maybe not the same plans, but the same ideas as to how to go about living a life of significance. Is everyone clear on that point? Super. Okay. And then what our team also offers is life coaching. We offer opportunities for people to go one-on-one, to go deeper into whatever it is. I know Hope will probably talk to you about it later. There's different versions of the book that are even more extensive than what we're going to go through today. Okay? We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. June Jordan said that. Okay? We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. I believe that if you see a problem, you're probably the one that's meant to fix it or to action something that will fix it. It's very rare that I see something that other people don't see and I expect them to do it. Okay, if I'm the one who sees that it's cold in here, I go and change. Who was it that complained about the air conditioning? Okay, and then you ended up being the one to fix it, right? Because that's the best way to go about it. If you see a problem, go and fix it. If it's bothering you and no one else is going to fix it. Okay? So, that is the end of our theory. This is all theory. We talked about the elements and how to take action and going from where you want to be to how you get to it and how to manage your time and so forth. Now we're going to get into it. Okay? I'd like everyone to open to the first page of this book. Okay. So this has to do with knowing your position. We talked about knowing your position as the first step in the planning, yes? Yes? Okay. What I need you to do on page 3, okay, page 1 is the first cover. Page 2 is where the guide is. You can ignore the guide because I'm going to take you through it. I don't want anyone running ahead because, I don't know, I can't help you if you're ahead of me. Okay, so we're on what says the wheel of life at the top, okay? Remember I said, where are you right now? What is your position in your current situation? Where are you right now? What is it that is going on in your life? What I need you to do is simply give yourself a score out of 10. There are 8 elements listed on the wheel. Okay, so there's spiritual, there's your family or relationship situation, your intellectual life, your physical health, your financial wealth, your career or business, your social responsibilities, and then this rest and restoration. I need you to look at these aspects of your life, and I need you to score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. Okay? If you're a 10, that means everything's fine. You've got your finances in order, everything's where you want it to be. If you're a 10 when it comes to intellectual, you feel, okay, fine, I don't need any more degrees, I don't need any more skills, I'm good, and I don't need any help in that area, okay? But I want you to honestly assess yourself. I might walk around and look at what you're doing, but this is just for you. This is a personal assessment of where you think you are right now, okay? So what I'd like us to do very quickly is just sort of define the areas so that you know what it is that makes a balanced life, okay? What do we mean when we say family or relationships? How are you interacting with the people around you? If you live at home still, or if you haven't moved out of your parents' house, how's everything doing? Do you feel like you connect enough with the people in your family? If you don't live with them, do you go home on Sundays and have lunch? Do you call them? How well are you connected with the people in your life? Okay? Your friends, your family, how well are you still connected? Human interaction is very important for people, whether we like it or not. We need other people, okay? So this is very important in your own personal walk. How well are we doing on the family relationship scale? You can take time and fill that in now. Rate yourself on a scale of 10 to 0. 0 being absolutely horrible, nothing is happening, nothing is going well, I need to fix this.